And we are underway very quickly, very fast pace already right out of the chute for our Anarchy Young Lions title matchup. And keep in mind the rule submission only. And basically Stryknyn has been working on submission moves himself lately. Of course, the tourniquet, and he already said and vowed that he was going to win the Anarchy Young Lions Championship with that exact maneuver. And what a matchup this is going to be, Brett.
Yeah, we've already seen one championship change hands this evening at Fright Night 2012. You know, a new television champion crowned in Wild Billy Buck. The Lethal Dose Stryknyn looks to make that 2 for 2 in title changes.
And of course, you know, on both sides, you've got Tommy Penirelli. I was happy because I thought once his match was done, we didn't have to see him again. And the same for CB Suave, but they're both out here. Of course, been supporting with that talent initiative of Adrian Hawkins. And then on the other side, of course, you've got Rev Dan Wilson. For those that maybe not too familiar with Anarchy, yes, this is Fright Night, but Dan Wilson dresses like that all the time.
Yeah, this is true. This is not a Halloween costume for the Reverend. This is how he looks in his everyday life.
Oh, man. Did you see Stryknyn, just the way he laid those arms, the clubbing blows right into the back of Adrian Hawkins. And I tell you, you know, one thing's for sure, you know, a lot of times you would think that maybe this stipulation would favor the champion, but the way and as violent and as vicious as Stryknyn is, this actually could help him as well too, because he doesn't really have to worry about any of the other rules that may pertain to a normal championship matchup.
This is also true. This is very true. You know, he can lay on that mat as long as he wants to. He's not going to get pinned.
One of the competitors here in Anarchy, he's one of the ones that I would think of that basically would throw his body on the line. He don't care if he comes out with one missing limb. He will do anything to destroy his opponent, including destroying himself in the process, if it means either a victory or a permanent punishment on his opponent. And there's one thing that you got to think about, man, as he goes on the leg again, working on Adrian Hawkins. One thing that we've got to touch on, of course, that added extra factor of our special referee, Todd Sexton, of course, related to our senior official, Brett Wiley, I should say.
Wait a minute, look at this. Oh, he's stepping on the leg. He's trying to pull the head of Adrian Hawkins off.
And he's not letting go either. He's like pulling and wrenching on it. He really is, honest to God, trying to pull his head off.
He's trying to decapitate the man.
Well, we've got some decorations up here. I guess we could use a pumpkin. And I guess that's one way to win a match. If your opponent can't see, he doesn't know how to kick anything out.
That is for certain.
Well, I told you, you know, the lethal viciousness. Oh, wait, there goes the belt again. We've seen this time and time again of Stryknyn taking the belt off.
How many? Well,
he's going to toss it to Rev Dan Wilson, and we saw Todd Sexton saw it, but I think he's either choosing to ignore it or he's got so much on his plate trying to keep it away. Going to admonish the Rev, but still a light little bit of admonishing. Meanwhile, Stryknyn going to pick up Adrian Hawkins. Now, you know that these two that we've certainly seen with Todd Sexton and Adrian Hawkins have had their issues over the months here in Anarchy. And that's a great way there to you know, really work on the arm is Stryknyn.
Is he trying to get the tourniquet locked in?
He's trying to go for it. The positioning of the body is the key here. And he's starting to loosen up his opponent as well so we can cinch it as completely.
Almost Hawkins trying to block it.
A great maneuver there from Adrian Hawkins trying to drop those elbows into the midsection of Stryknyn. And we heard earlier at the beginning of this contest, Rev Dan Wilson told one of our crew here to keep the title warm for him. They certainly feel confident that they're going to be able to get this championship off the waist of Adrian Hawkins.
Well, the Reverend Dan Wilson would love to add the Young Lions Championship to his title collection. As you know, Azrael, one half of the Anarchy Tag Team Champions. That's something else that Dan Wilson's got to be looking to tonight. Our main event, the barbed wire match for the tag team titles.
Yeah, and you know, this is like a birthday to him. This is an annual thing that he looks forward to. Fright Night, it's his night. The Devil's Playground. And wait a second, we saw Adrian Hawkins take that top turnbuckle off, exposing the steel. The steel, that top, oh, it just met the steel met the back of Stryknyn. And our special referee, Todd Sexton, eyeing up indeed what has happened, but probably not really much he can do at the moment, considering the special rules of the submission only. And now Adrian Hawkins trying to be in the driver's seat, using that knee straight into the back of Stryknyn while he wrenches up on the head of Stryknyn. A boot to the back as well, too, for added injury.
We saw the official, Todd Sexton, telling Adrian Hawkins to break the hold. Those rules still do apply. The only way the match can end, though, is via submission.
And Rev Dan Wilson just eyeing him up right now, trying to we'll have a little word of encouragement there to Stryknyn. And just Adrian Hawkins just taking the face of Stryknyn, rolling it right into the mat. And man, you know this contest, when you really take a lot of the elements of being able to go for a pinfall attempt, you really have to work that much harder in a submission matchup. And both of these men, you know, normally we might not have seen these two so spit already, but it really has taken a lot out of them when you really factor in the importance of that submission.
Adrian Hawkins is going to do his best to work on the back of Stryknyn. Already damaged one from the shot in the exposed corner, but you got to think that trademark move of Adrian Hawkins, his favorite move is the sharpshooter. It's a submission hold that works on the lower back.
Yeah, and it's certainly favoring right now Adrian Hawkins. The rule kind of somewhat designed for him, of course, thanks to Jerry Palmer. And he's certainly in the driver's seat right now. Rev Dan Wilson, you know, for our longtime Anarchy fans, probably a little surprised, of course, that Rev Dan Wilson relying on the fans to help get behind Stryknyn, but indeed that has been the case.
You know, it was just a year ago in War Games here at Fright Night that the fans had a total different attitude towards the Reverend. And towards Stryknyn, for that matter.
That's absolutely right, but the fans here have certainly come to respect what all that Stryknyn has been able to do. And again, just working on that back, I mean, that might have taken a little bit out of Adrian Hawkins as well. But needless to say, it also gave a little bit of punishment into the back of Stryknyn, and that's what the intention was. Of course, you see Todd Sexton checking in, seeing if Stryknyn does give up. But you know, you pretty much have to have like no air left in the body of Stryknyn for him to be able to do that. I just don't see those words coming out of his mouth.
It's happened, but in very, very rare occasions. You know, I made mention of War Games last year. You know, Stryknyn was involved in the War Games cage match last year. And if I recall correctly, Stryknyn actually was the one that gave up in that contest in War Games last year. But, you know, a year has gone by. He's tougher, and this time championship gold is on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. It means so much more. I mean, of course, War Games is just as important, but this is the opportunity that Stryknyn would love. You know, someone that's been a lot of times, of course, one half of the Hate Junkies won tag team gold, but now really his opportunity to go for that singles prize. And this is why it means probably that little bit more to him, as we see Adrian Hawkins really losing a little bit of focus here in the matchup and worrying about the fans, trying to go maybe for the sharpshooter here, but wasted a little bit of time.
I don't know if you saw it or not, but Stryknyn spit in the face of Adrian Hawkins. That's one way to get your opponent to forget what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's pretty much probably all Stryknyn could do, is really try and take the focus off of the champion. And now Stryknyn trying to fight his way back out of the corner with those lefts and rights, but meanwhile fighting right back is just as much the champion. Adrian Hawkins trying to put this away, softening up his man, but set just a little bit too early, and Stryknyn was able to follow through. Now, you know, in a normal match, Stryknyn would probably roll through and hook the leg for the 1-2-3, but this isn't a normal match. It's submission rules only.
He's got to get him into the position. Probably best suited would be in the middle of the ring to lock on the tourniquet, because there would be nowhere for Hawkins to go.
And if Stryknyn hadn't had so much punishment, perhaps might have been able to go into that just a little bit sooner, but Adrian Hawkins was able to get back on his feet. And now it looks like Stryknyn grabbing both legs as well, too. What are we going to see here?
He's going to try the sharpshooter.
Well, wouldn't that be something?
With his own move.
He's sitting back, he's cinched on it. You can see the pain writhing in the face of Stryknyn as he gets every last ounce of punishment onto the champion.
He's going to do whatever it takes to get to the ropes.
Tommy Penirelli CB Suave trying to encourage their man.
Rolls him in. He could be trying to reverse the hold.
But great ring positioning there for Stryknyn. Was able to get in the ropes and use that as a great opportunity.
Wait, he's got it.
He's trying to lock it in.
I think he's got it. Todd Sexton's checking. Knee to the head.
The tourniquet trying to be locked in, and it looks like Adrian Hawkins doing everything he can to fight through. It seems like every single time Stryknyn's able to get it, you know, the champion is able to really quickly fight through. And Stryknyn just trying to swat away at anything he can. Oh, catches him and just slams him straight down. Doesn't even come off his feet, does Stryknyn. And now Stryknyn eyeing it up. Rev Dan Wilson feels like he's going into that zone that usually helps out Stryknyn.
But if Stryknyn's setting up for the spear, what good is that going to do? He can't get a pinfall on it.
That's true, but at least it will soften up his opponent. Oh, man, leapfrog. Wait a second, was able to catch the leg. And now is he going to try and roll through for the sharpshooter? He's got the leg, but he needs to stand back through and then arch his way back onto the back of Stryknyn. In the center of the ring, he drags him.
Great move by Hawkins. He pulled Stryknyn into the middle of the ring, further away from the ring ropes.
And this is Stryknyn's match to lose because he's in the center of the ring right now. Our special referee, Todd Sexton, checking on him. The hand is up. It's about to tap.
Those ropes are the only thing, that's the only way he's going to be able to break out of the hold at this point is to reach the ropes, but they're so far away. He's crawling, dragging himself, clawing and scraping. He was
able to break it. The hand did touch the mat, but that was not in succession, so Todd Sexton's going to call for it. Adrian Hawkins doesn't want to find himself disqualified here.
He was trying to get himself disqualified. A disqualification still counts. He would retain the title.
And meanwhile, Adrian Hawkins is taking his focus off of his challenger. Again, we've documented the problems these two have faced. Oh, the spear. Goes right in for it again. He's locking in the tourniquet. He's wrenching back on it. Rev Dan Wilson and the fans are screaming to tap. With Tommy Penirelli on the apron here. CB Suave, wait a second, he's grabbing the foot and inching it to the bottom rope. And Todd Sexton, none the wiser, doesn't see this. Oh, I think he's had enough. Down goes Tommy Penirelli.
He's going to make him break the hold. I don't believe this.
Well, he has no other option. There is no instant replay. He's got to call what he sees, and the foot's on the rope.
Stryknyn needs to watch out for Hawkins.
Bad break there for Stryknyn, and it gets even worse as the chop to the leg. Going to set up again beautifully, perhaps maybe the sharpshooter. If I was Adrian Hawkins, I might go for another move. Of course, it's his patented move, but still, Stryknyn's certainly going to know that that's where he's going with.
Flips him up and over, holds on, back into the tourniquet.
Beautiful way to lock back into that move. And look at the body positioning of Stryknyn. He's closer to the ropes, but that means that Adrian Hawkins is further away. Great opportunity here for Stryknyn.
He's got a center of the ring. Hawkins seems to be fading fast.
He is! I don't believe it!
Ladies and gentlemen, here's your winner as a result of a submission, a new Anarchy Wrestling Young Lions champion, the Lethal Dose, Stryknyn!
CB Suave and Tommy Penirelli are beside themselves. I think Tommy Penirelli is going to lower his pizza slice at half-mast tonight.